This is the Oppo Find N2 Flip, and you probably can't buy it. It's a folding phone and part of a growing list of high-end, China-exclusive folding phones. This doesn't happen in any other phone markets. What does this trend tell us about the future of folding phones? I'm Alfie from Tech Asia. Let's dive in. Five years after Samsung launched the first folding phone, these gadgets have remained fragile and costly. This has meant that foldables have been slow to pick up steam around the world. And why would you want a folding phone in the first place?
就是折叠屏手机，它其实对女性来说是比较友好的，尤其是像现在夏天比较热，女孩子背的包可能都比较小，它会更加便携一点。
所以就是那种小巧一点的，便携，就是带出门比较方便嘛，比较便携一点。
看起来比较高端、大气上档次一些。
它可能好看一点，就是外观来说会比其他的手机要好看一点。
APP 可以从两个屏上都可以使用，甚至说如果你想打开其中一个屏，把它展开就可以变成一个大屏。
The technology is really exciting, and a recent report from the analyst firm Counterpoint seems to agree with me. Foldable sales are up worldwide, but nowhere near as much as in China, which has more than doubled its foldable sales since last year. 5 out of the 8 companies currently producing folding phones today sell them exclusively in China. That might be a clue to understanding what makes China's phone market unique, but best to ask the experts.
My name is Mengmeng. I'm based in Beijing. I'm an analyst at Counterpoint Research Technology. In global markets and in China, the smartphone volume is going down, but the premium market is actually increasing because we think that premium smartphone users are more immune to economic downturns. Foldable smartphones is an important subsegment of the premium phone. So China is the home to the world's largest smartphone makers. China has a very mature manufacturing ecosystem, and then the supply chain is very good. So that enable them to make cheaper foldable smartphones, which is, I think, the key in foldable smartphones, because foldable smartphones are still considered very expensive. In China, it's just you have a lot more products. When you have a lot more products, the mind share for these foldable devices are rising, and that would promote more people to purchase it.
Some Chinese phone makers, like Honor, have announced that they wanted to sell their foldables in other markets. Which ones do you think will be the most impacted?
I'll have to mention North America, because North America, it is one of the biggest market for premium brands. And one of the other regions that we think will have strong growth potential is ASEAN. So the major countries are like Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines. It has a very young customer base as compared to, Japan or Korea. And with young customers, they want to try new innovative products. Chinese OEMs have had a very strong presence in these areas. I think ASEAN is actually a key region for foldable smartphones in the near future.
As folding screens become more accessible to more manufacturers, it seems likely that the competition will heat up in other markets as well. And here's something you can do with that fancy folding phone. Book a doctor's appointment. Digital healthcare came to the fore as physical appointments were halted during the pandemic. These services have the potential to reduce inequalities by making access to healthcare universal, if they are implemented properly. But many countries have found rolling out these services exposed more challenges than expected.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehnaz Irtika and I am a contributor for the Daily Star Tech and Startup, and I'm here to talk about the challenges that unravel behind the healthcare gap in Bangladesh.
Could you just present what we mean when we say digital healthcare? What does it comprise?
Digital healthcare refers to the telemedicine services in Bangladesh that the patients all across the nation can get right from their home, whether it's appointment with doctors or online appointments for online medicine to their homes.
Could you present kind of the hurdles that are being faced when trying to establish these kinds of services?
So the telemedicine sector of our country is at a pretty ambiguous state. When we try to reach out to specialized surgeons, we have to use multiple different apps. And for online medication systems, there's barely any, alongside the 1 or 2 verified online medical services. The biggest issue is not just the urban areas, but also the rural people who have internet connectivity issues in our country still. For that, we need digital healthcare booth setups where people can access the urban doctors and not be having an unequal treatment provided to them just because of the distance that they're having.
As a user of these apps, is it frustrating to not be able to find, for example, a physician that you're looking for?
Yes, of course, it's definitely frustrating. For example, I can't really find my community healthcare provider in one of these apps. If I have to reach out to any of the doctors, I would have to explain my entire history to them. However, there are advancements that are being made in this sector that bridge that gap. There are institutions like Argo that provide online medications delivered to your homestep. And such institutions are developing and expanding on their telemedicine services. So it's definitely on the way.
What are some of the risks that can come up with these kinds of deployments?
So data concerns and privacy safety issues are one of our biggest frightening points to look for. Since these companies could potentially use and sell the data in various illegal frameworks and ways that we do not want, we would have to establish a very strict regulatory framework in order for the technological advancements in our healthcare sector to function properly as intended.
All right.
Thank you so much. All right.
That's all for this week's Tech Asia. I've been Alfie. Join us next week for a showcase of tech's impact on Asia.